Hello and welcome to another edition of these TSJW Network exclusives. I'm Trellis Williams, and we are very pleased to be joined by Jackson Victor's senior guard, Gideon Peacock. Oh man, Gideon, man, thanks for joining us, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, well, you played 7 years for the Victors, a long time, and it's located, of course, in the state's capital of Jackson, Mississippi, man. Are you originally from the Jackson area?
Yeah, I'm kind of there. My family grew up in Madison, and we moved to Jackson when I was 1. So basically lived here my whole life. So, yeah.
So go ahead and tell us your background when it comes to being homeschooled, when you started there, and also how you got into basketball, and then also joining the Victors. Just tell us.
Yeah, man. Well, my parents kind of they homeschooled all my other 7 siblings. Growing up, they felt like that's what God wanted them to do, and so they went with that. So I was kind of put in that. It wasn't really my choice, but I'm grateful for it. But we were blessed because my older sister Sarah, she played violin, and she actually played with Jim Fehrenbacher, the guy who started Victor's. She played with his son, and they told him about all that. So my oldest brother was able to play with them, and it started just playing flag football, and then they started playing basketball. So we've been there from the beginning, and I was like 5 years old when it started. So for a long time I was looking forward to playing, and luckily I was able to. And I think we've been in it 14 years now, and I'm the last one in it, and I'm leaving now.
Well, man, look, heading into the season, your team, of course, was coming off of losing 6 seniors, including 3 starters and a coaching change, too. So a lot of change going into this year for y'all's team. What were you guys' expectations going into the season this year?
Well, to be honest, up until about 2 weeks before practice started, we weren't sure, if we were going to have a season. We were still trying to figure out if COVID was, the governor was going to allow us to have a season, to have fans on it, because homeschool without fans, we don't have any way to pay refs or any of that stuff. So
yeah,
that we were kind of scared about. Same thing with the coach. We didn't know who our coach was going to be, and as soon as we found out we had a coach, we were able to have fans. I was ready to start, and I knew it was going to be a weird year. I knew it was going to be, we were going to have a really young team. But at the end of the day, my expectation was the same as every year. We had gone, I think, 4 years in a row without losing any conference games, and we'd gone, I think, 5 or 6 years with winning every championship, something like that. So that was, our main focus, and really tried to drill in it because we had a lot of new guys. So I was really trying to let them know, Victor's history and how much championships meant, and how much, we were looked at as the top guys, in the previous years. And, teams were still going to be coming after us, but, they knew we were going to be a lot different. And so the teams were going to take advantage of us, but we were still focused on that championship.
So, and now over the course of the year, you guys got better, of course, because you guys had to work out the kinks. Had a tough start to the season, losing that game to Hattiesburg at home. But y'all hit y'all stride as later on y'all defeated Laurel twice, and y'all beat Hattiesburg the second time, and Meridian one time as well. What aspects of the game do you think that you guys got better in over the course of the season?
Well, we were really emphasizing kind of just doing the little things, because we had good plays, but at the same time, young team, plus, it was a lot of guys playing together for the first time. We had a lot of new guys, a couple new, even starters were new. And so it was really just little things, passes, communicating, really kind of defensive and rebounds. We weren't rebounding well at the beginning of the season, and that really picked up towards the end. And we had some really good big play out of, our post players, Ethan and Colin. Colin stepped up really big. But it was really, I think the main thing we got better at was rebounding. But the main emphasis was just, little things, rebounding, no turnovers, stuff like that.
Yeah. So in December, you broke your hand against Brookhaven Academy, and then COVID shut the team down shortly after that for a little while there. First question, how bad was that hand injury? And then also second question, was there a time where you thought the season would end up getting shut down?
Well, the hand injury, it was when I fell on it, it was really bad. You know, I had a shooting pain all the way up my arm, but I was still focused. You know, I mean, that happened in the first quarter of the game, so I was kind of focused on getting back into that game. So the trainer was able to tape it up, and I was able to finish. But at the same time, you know, fresh injury, it hurt really bad. So
Yeah.
I was playing basically with one hand, catching the ball with one hand. I really wasn't even, you know, a factor in that game. And then we finished that, and I was kind of convinced. I had never had like a serious injury or anything, and so in my mind, I was just like, you know, if I go to the doctor, they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, sprained it or whatever. So I was just like, I'll be fine. So my mom got me, you know, to wear a brace, which is probably a good thing. But we went and played PCA the next day, and
Yeah, 33
it was
points
hurting.
in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good one.
It was kind of hurting at the beginning, but once the adrenaline, you know, kicked in, I was able to kind of play through it. But so, I mean, it wasn't on my mind during the game, but as soon as the game was over, you know, I could kind of feel it again. But it really didn't bother me that much. You know, it was tough. We only played, I think the guys played one game without me because of all the COVID stuff. And so it was kind of tough to watch, especially because it was a team I wanted to play against.
Yeah.
But, you know, I couldn't do anything else in a cast. But it wasn't awful, and I was able to get back pretty fast. But I wasn't really thinking about, you know, the season being shut down because I think we only had like 4 games left until Christmas break. And so, you know, I knew those got canceled because we were short guys. We had a lot of people get sick. We had a couple guys get COVID.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was just like, you know, it was just on our side of it, everything. I didn't realize it was really affecting kind of the whole state or whatever. So that wasn't really on my mind. But, you know, we were able to get through it. But luckily, I guess in January, everybody was able to get back. And so it was really good.
Now, heading into the playoffs, you guys sat at 7-4 in the conference, holding that number 2 seed. Now, of course, as you mentioned earlier, Victors had won the last 7 championships, with you having won the last 3. What was the feeling heading into the tournament? Because you guys had played 2 games that week as y'all took the loss to Meridian, but y'all beat the Counselors in the last game heading into the tournament. What was y'all's feeling heading into it?
Heading into it, we were feeling good. We knew people were going to be coming after us, and so we were kind of, up until I think the day before the tournament started, we were kind of anxious to figure out what seed we were going to be, you know, who we were playing, because this year was one of the craziest, you know, bracket making years.
Yeah.
Because a lot of teams beat different, you know, it was a lot of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of focused on that and trying to figure out who we were playing, trying to, you know, prepare and practice for whoever we would be playing. But at the same time, I mean, you know, we were just focused getting to the championship, you know, one game at a time, playing as hard as we could.
Yeah, and you guys advanced out of the first round to face the Laurel Nighthawks after beating Scott County there in that first round. Now, Laurel hosted the tournament, so that game right there, it was like a road game for y'all. It was, you know, definitely a lot of Nighthawks fans up in there, and you guys fell short there in overtime. Just take us through that game, if you would.
Yeah, we started kind of cold. Definitely didn't, you know, hit the ground running. The gym was kind of cold. All the guys, you know, we were kind of off, and think we like just got to the gym. We weren't there for a while, so we were kind of fresh, still kind of cold. So it was kind of slow at the beginning. I didn't really get as many shots as I usually do or wanted to.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a close game. We had some calls didn't go our way. You know, we weren't too thrilled about some of the things, but you know, I mean, that's just kind of how it goes in tournaments. But I mean, we played hard, and I'm sure it was a good game to watch. But it was one of those games it was frustrating to be in. But I mean, they played hard, they played really well, but you know, we just weren't able to pull it out in the end.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining game to watch. Now, you did mention 2 things. You mentioned that the gym was cold, which I've heard that in the last interview. Daniel mentioned that in the last interview. But also, you know, I did notice that Laurel definitely did key in on making sure you didn't get as many shots as you wanted to. Did you notice that as the game went on?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of noticed that, you know, from a couple teams. You know, I knew they kind of knew that, you know, I kind of, I was a point guard. I was kind of running things. So I did notice it, but I knew if they shut me down that I was going to be able to find, a way for my teammates to score, because I'm fine, I'm perfectly fine getting as many more assists than I do points. So I was kind of, trying to find ways to do that. But I mean, we did okay, but definitely could have done better. And it's one of those games that, you always want to have back. But
as everyone well knows, the MSAHA playoffs are a double elimination tournament, and so you guys found yourselves in that losers bracket there. Now you played Hattiesburg, who had bounced back, getting back to full strength after they had played the whole last month shorthanded. But you guys were able to pull out that win. Talk to us about how that game was for y'all.
Yeah, that game. I mean, we knew they were going to be come out firing because Hattiesburg always does. Hattiesburg, no matter what year they are, that they always play as hard as they can. They got some guys that really play hard. But we came out of that game. I kind of noticed early on they stuck a guy on me. They kind of went. I think they went a box and won. So I knew I wasn't really going to be that big of a factor. I think I had like 7 or 9 points in that game. But some guys stepped up. I mean, Ethan Hendry had a huge game. I think Nash had a couple good ones. Colin scored, but it was a tough game, and they had a game plan. They came out and they executed it well. But we were able to pull it out in the end, and it was a hard game, but we pulled it out.
So after that win, took on the Meridian Flyers, who it was interesting about this. These playoffs is that you knew it would beforehand. You knew it would be kind of disadvantageous for anybody who took a loss early on, just because it was very good year when it came to the conference. You had a good few teams that were good. So if you had to go through there, you'd have to go through a few good teams there. And so y'all did face the Meridian Flyers, who were a very much improved team from previous years. They had taken a narrow loss to PCA there in that first game. And you guys end up dropping that one by 2 in a that was probably, in my opinion, the most entertaining game of that tournament. It was just back and forth. Good amount of scoring as well. Just take us through how that one went in your recollection.
Yeah, that game kind of, as far as I remember, that game kind of started slow like the other ones. But we got some buckets. Of course they're going to score. They got a great scorer in Elliott Tula. They got a really good big man that kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting to see him. I had a friend that I think it was you that texted me and was like, "Hey, watch out, Meridian has a big guy." So he had some big minutes for them. He was definitely, a good player, the player they needed to kind of rise above where they had been in the past years. But it was a good back and forth game. I think we pulled ahead in the third quarter a little bit, and they were able to bring it back. But I think I remember with like 40 seconds left. I hit like a step back 3 to go up 2. They came down. I think Elliott shot a 3, missed it. Somebody got the rebound and hit him back, and he made it. And then we just weren't able to, quite execute it on the offensive end. But it was a good game. If you do lose in a tournament, that's kind of how you would want to go out. You want to go out, close game, give it everything you got. But it's one of the. I want every loss back, but that one hurt because it was the last one.
Now, through the 7 years of playing Victors, and also through all the years that you've been a part of it, you said 14. I know you've built a lot of memories over the years. Just tell us what your favorite memory of the whole time was. I know it's going to be kind of tough, but
yeah, Victor's been a huge part of my life. Pretty much all my friends, come out of meeting them in Victor's, playing basketball with them or something like that. But I'd say my favorite is probably last year. We just lost a bunch of seniors. We lost you, Trellis, and then my brother Andrew and Isaiah. And, I had some people ask me, they're like, y'all lost a lot of people. People were kind of doubting if we were going to be any good and all that stuff. But we came out and season started not bad, but not the way we wanted, because we had Matthew, he got injured, and then Ryan, he got injured. And I think Eli missed 1 or 2 games with a foot injury. and but we still we caught our stride eventually, and we had some big wins against Jackson Prep, and then I think we finished the season we went on like a 13-1 winning streak, and we had some close games against some of the conference teams, in our conference and during the regular season, but in that tournament we just we hit the ground running. We won every game by almost 30. And it was just a really fun year. I mean, I love those guys. That was one of the best years of my life, and I mean, it was just a blast.
I wanted to ask you this as well. Now this year, you mentioned close games in that year. This year, you played so many close games. I just remember looking through y'all schedule, and it was like 1 point, 2 point, 2 point, 3 point games. That had to help y'all's team and help y'all's experience. Just speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of new because we were used to, kind of in the past years we were able to, with the better teams we were able to hang with them, and we didn't play a whole lot of, really really talented teams, but a lot of games were blowouts, so we didn't really have that experience until this year, and I knew it kind of coming into this year that it was there were going to be some hard games like that, but man, it seemed to be every game. So it was a new feeling. I mean, I enjoyed it, and we definitely had some games that didn't, it was 1 or 2 points, but not in our favor a lot of times. Which, I mean, it was the same way other way. I mean, we beat Laurel both times, one on a buzzer beater and one they just missed a shot. But there are a lot of close games.
Well, man, look, thank you for joining us, man, for sure. Man, look, definitely, I've known you for a long time, so, I enjoy playing with you and watching you play as well. So definitely appreciate you joining us for this edition of the TSJW Network Exclusives.
Absolutely, man. Anytime.
All right, well, and thank you, viewers, for joining us today. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the TSJW Network. You never know what's going to come through the pike here. It'll probably be about basketball, so you can kind of expect something to a certain degree. But anyway, go ahead and check out the website. It's tsjwnetwork.net, and you can donate if you wish to as well. tsjwnetwork.net/donate. And thank you for joining us, and please join us again next time. We out.